So this is part 3, bit on the petrol tank and some of the hoses I also on the airbox mod, which is just getting some of the hoses that you don't need. So hopefully this helps and enjoy it. Thanks, bye. So I ended up getting a tank. This is an old one. It hasn't been sealed, but it was painted. But that's all right. It's been cleaned. So what I'll do is I'll get this. I got a pump. I took that off the other bike. I've just tested it. That's working. So put this in. On previous video I had this, which is just a I put that in for a seal. It stops the leaks. Well, it's worked so far. I did another previous video on that, on how to make it. So it just goes on the lip, and that's the next test, to put this pump in here. And we'll put that in here. Bloody hell, all lined up. So put these screws in. To do this up, you've got to, I don't know if you can see that, but I'll see if I can scroll in on that. It's got the numbers on there, so that's the order that you do it. You got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do it in that order, but I'll show you how to just tighten these up easy. Get out of the way. So just do it now. 1, all you're doing is just doing it finger tight. 2, and 3, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and the last one, 8. So you just do these up until you've got a bit of tightness on it. Don't go tightening them down, because what people do is they screw these too tight, and that's what lifts the lip on the inside, and that's why you end up getting leaks there. So this way, they've got to be done to, I think it's 6 Newton meters, but there's no pressure on it, so it's just to stop the leak. So I just do keep going around 1, 2 till they're tight. Always just finger tight. Once they're done up, then just go around and just give them like a quick quarter return. 1, 2, until you get that bite that you can't get it any further. You'll know what I'm talking about when you do it. You just don't want to be screwing them down so it lifts this lip on the tank, otherwise you will have leaks. So quick turn. Alright, so that should be it. And what I'll do now is we'll put some juice in it to see if it leaks. So we'll put a bit of juice in here and see if this thing leaks. Hopefully it doesn't, otherwise we'll just, don't put too much in there. You just want to cover the bottom part of it. That's probably enough. You'll probably know before I do. No leaks. That's a good start. So the tank's on. Tank lines are connected. Fuel pump is connected. I've just put a bit more fuel inside. And now I'll just prime it a bit more. So it is filling the fuel pump. That battery sounds crap. So now that's done, I've just got to put in the brake switch on there, because that's not going to start or click over. No, this battery's a bit no good. Back to charging, or wait for the new battery. That's all right, we'll carry on. So I've added another battery just to give it a bit more juice, and I had the starter button wasn't sort of working, but this is the first time will tell. It's a good sign. I don't think there's enough juice in the battery, even with it jumpered, or at least it's turning over. So the battery's not enough in there. Well, that's not too bad. I'll see if I can get any codes while cranking it. So just to get codes, just jump 2 wires, but I'm turning it on and cranking it just before, and I've got C00. C00, okay. Right, I'll have to do some other testing. I think it's going to be the battery's not enough. Even with a jump, it's just an old car battery. There's about, I think there's about 8 volts in it. All right. Maybe we might add a bit more fuel. There should be enough in there. It's not low. All right. I had this other thought why it wasn't starting. I was cranking over it, but I remember afterwards, I hadn't figured out where that hose was, but looking at the diagram, because I swapped this top part, excuse me, with the other one, which had already had the holes in it, so they have the actuators just sitting on the top. This comes up, connects to it, and it's a T-piece. So because I've disconnected that and changed it with the flapper valve, I can get rid of, excuse me again, I can get rid of some of these components because they're useless once you've done the flapper valve mod. So I'm going to try and do that now. I've taken the tank off. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get rid of some of these hoses, and I'll show you which hoses you can get rid of. So this VSCV, I can't remember what it is. That is connected to, it's on a T-piece here, and that's the one that goes up into, you can see in the diagram, that's the one that goes to these actuators. So I've disconnected it. So if you wanted to do the mod, you would just take the actuators out and then plug the holes. And you can leave the flaps on there. But that hose connects to that. So that hose is absolutely useless, but it's still open when I'm cranking it. So that hose there connects to this VSCV. Now, you can take this off. So, to show you, oh, I've got to do this anyway. I'm going to have to take taking the air box off completely makes it a lot easier, so I'll do that. So at the moment, I'm going to take this top part off and we'll go from there. Okay, so all that's off. The trumpets there, they're off, so that's all loose now. So we've got to take this off and this one to get the airbox off, which is easy enough. But just leave them. You see what I mean? Right. So they're off, and then we'll take that's off. And then there's the hose on the bottom. So that's all done. So that's all done. Be careful because they are open now. So, oops, that's come off. Alright, so now we're going to delete some hoses. So you've got this VCSV. Okay, so that's it there. So that's the dampener that goes to the front of the airbox. It's connected to, you'll see this, they've got the, this, I think it's a VD, but anyway, the orange is always facing out that. So that hose comes into the bottom of the VSV. See, that electrical can be disconnected. This hose that goes to the flap valve can come off. That's all useless. And this here, one with the orange one on here, that can be pulled off, which leaves, that's connected to the throttle body. I don't know if you can see it. It's a bit of a, it's hard, but that's connected into like that. So that there has to be plugged. So that's plugged, all of that. And the dampener, you'll still have the vacuum damper on the right hand side, but that is irrelevant. And then you just, so you're keeping that because that goes into the throttle bodies down, and the fuel, it all connects into there. Excuse me, and there's a T intersection. So this here is pretty much dusted. You can just keep it, you just wrap it up. It's not going to be used, so you'll end up clearing that, and just remember to plug that short hose that comes off the throttle body. And that's it, don't need the rest. So we'll just do that. So that hose that we plugged, that was the hose that's joined to the orange. I've just plugged that, and you can see that's all it is. You can put a screw in there. I've actually put a plastic, one of the old fairing holders, plastic there, and that's in there. That's it. keep that, tape that up, and put it all back. That's it. Done. Okay, so the fuel pump's priming and it was cranking over and it wasn't igniting. So I'm doing a flow test, and I think this is another problem because that's the return. It's only going to be stuck there, but fuel should come out. None. So I'm going to have to drain it, take that pump off, but it's, or the injectors are blocked because it's been sitting around for a while. So it's endless. No wonder he couldn't get it started. So on this one, I've done all the electrics on it. I've got the electrics going. We swapped the tank over. I've got the fuel pump going. Now, in the last scene, I was doing some flow testing, and I thought it might have been the battery, but then when I did the flow test, I've got nothing coming out. So either the injectors are blocked or the fuel rail is blocked. So I've got to take that all off, because I know the pump's working because it's delivering fuel down the fuel line, because when you take that off, there's so much pressure, it just spurts out. So it's not getting past that and circulating back into the tank, so which points to injectors or fuel lines. So that's what we're going to take apart now, and hopefully that will turn up something. Okay. Okay, so we've taken the fuel delivery, and then we're going to take off these. There's 4 of these screws. I've just loosened these 2. They're quite jammed in there, so, but that's got the injectors on there, so we'll pull this out. That's the pressure regulator, goes back into the tank. So let's just take off these. And then there's the on this side here. Oh, those injectors are filthy. Then there's the hose that connects to the little T-piece there. Take that off. Right, let's go and have a look. So when you take these off, it's good to keep them in the same spots. Now on the wiring, they've got their numbers. I don't know if you can see that, but you've got 4, 3, 1, 2. So it's a good idea to do this. So we've got, what's that one? It's a bit smudged. Well, that's 4. So we've got 4 there. And this one is that's 3 and that's 1. So that's 3 and that's 1, which makes that 2. Double check it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Oh, I think I put 2 in the wrong way. So that's what that looks like. Now that is, I've put some air through that. That's all. That's not blocked. It's all coming out. That's clean. That's not the issue. It's either this. It's got that little other rubber ring on it. And that just fits back in there. Okay, so it's hard to test that because it's when the pressure builds up in that, it releases a valve in there which turns the fuel back into it. So now we're going on to these, and I think these might be the culprit. Alright, I'm going to give these a clean. You actually need an injector cleaner for these, but I'm just going to give them a bit of a clean. So they've all been tested, cleaned up. When you put these in, the injectors back in, don't twist them, just push them straight in so they go in straight. Otherwise there's a little round O-ring on the end of this in here, and when you twist it, it screws all up, and that's one way for these to leak when they're under pressure. So we'll put these back on, and then we'll hopefully I get some flow. Alright. So what I've done now is I've put them back. I've connected all the hose and the air pressure hose, the fuel pressure hose, into the line. A little rubber doobie there to stop that, and now we will see if we get any flow. So I ended up cleaning the injectors and putting them all back on, and as previously was that it was a old fuel pump that was in and the battery wasn't the best. So they're due to arrive I think probably today, both of those, and I ordered a new pump as well. So I'll leave this as it is, and then I'll come back and I've got the tank on, but it's still not flowing through the fuel flows. No, it's just not coming through the end pipe, so they're not blocked up. So it could be that the pump's not delivering enough pressure to open up the fuel valve pressure regulator there. So we'll see what happens when I get those new pump and batteries. So hopefully, cross our fingers, I get some juice coming out of the flow pipe. All right, thanks for watching this. All right, bye-bye.